back now. We've pulled back off. Like I said about this piece here, which I've actually got screwed into the axle you've got, and it'll just push in there. 2 holes are here, drill it in, and then I put 2 nuts and bolts in, just because they're nice and easy to get to. So there you go, and that you keep, and that'll keep your sliders for your hitch and that which would eventually just slide in like that, or you can keep the bruder hitch that you've got. So like you said, when you cut your front axle, and I'll pop this one back in. That's basically how you are as it comes. So what you're basically doing, you're gonna go in, you're gonna cut it down here, cut it in here until you get the tabs. You'll get a feel for where they are. Just cut that tab, and pull it out. You don't need to worry. I don't think it's going to split the body if you just were gentle with it. Here we've got the servo in, so we'll come back to that in a minute. Once you've cut that out, and if you look at that, and then I'm just going to give you an idea. And what you're basically doing is you've got a slot left there where your axle sat, which is just not much much wider than what you've done. So what you're going to do first of all is open that out, open that space out up to that line, from there to there, until your new one, your new axle fits in. So I might have took it a little bit too much. You need it a little bit wider here to get it to go in. You know, so don't they are cutting it to I think that's 30mm. Bit difficult to get it in, so I made it a little bit wider to make it easy. You don't see it when it's on. What I did at first, I took it from up that line there to there until I could get that in, and then I just started trimming it back into the engine. Because one thing I did when I did my last one of these, and the way I did it using 2 wagon axles, I ended up cutting most of the engine away, and it just looked horrendous. I just didn't like the look of it. So I think the more of the engine you keep, the better looking it is. That's my personal opinion. And obviously the more of the engine you keep, the more strength you're keeping on your front end. So that's what I did. And then I just come in here, and you can see it hopefully quite clearly. We'll get a bit better light. We're not really good with light in this room, so we haven't got a production studio yet until MGM come knocking at the door, and then they might give me one at BBC. I don't know, but we are quite new to this video, I think. So if you see here, and just cut it, and then if you look, there's a pipe there. You don't want to really go past that pipe, and then once you've got your axle where it's sliding up, just look in and just trim away, and then obviously you want the same on the other side. If you look at the other side, I've actually took a bit much off here and a bit less off there. So just feel your way in gently until what's going to happen when you get it right, you get it where you want it. Just let your wires feed inside that. Don't think I had to cut anything off in here. You don't really have to cut anything. The wires will go through. You've not really. For now, that's all you're looking at. Just get your wires fed in there. A bit fiddly, and bit of string tape to them and pull them through would probably be a better idea than messing about. That's what you're gonna do. Excuse me. Is you're gonna go, and then what you're gonna do is just turn your axle. You're pushing it in to locate it where that cutout is. There's a cutout in it there, and then on the tractor there's a little point there. So that's where that's going to locate. So if you get that, to go into there, and then you just tweak and a shove. The screws do bind a little bit on it. It's not a problem. You just push the body in a little touch, and then when it goes in, you're literally just going to push it up into place, and you're going to push it till it stops moving. So it's made to fit here, up to here, and up to there. That stops it. So you can't push it too far. On the back, it's angled off here, and it literally, if you want, it just goes in and just pushes. Once you've got it in, and it looks like it's in position, your wires, make sure your wires are located right. I'm just going to get that bit of a tweak, shove my wire back under there, because I've just managed to get it and pull them through. Make sure you've got your wires through and they're not going to trap. And then it's just a case of literally shove it home. So what I did, I shoved it home on one side, and I got my little wood screw. I know it's a bit Beef Robinson and a bit thing, but it works, it's quick and it's easy. So what I'm going to do, even if you use these, the idea is use these and then change them to nuts and bolts, which is what I did on back. I got these to get it in. Make sure your back end's shoved up, nice and snug, up to inner wing there. You don't need to take these off, they're quite happy just sat there. The holes are already drilled in these, obviously. Just shove a screw in so it holds it. These things are brilliant. You pick them up, they're not a lot of money. And then just literally it'll self-drill, and that's it basically in there. Turn it over. Make sure you locate it up front. Make sure you shove nice and tight in at back. So what I did, I got my screws, my back screw first, because the front tends to locate itself brilliantly. Just got my finger in, pushed it up, and then just literally let it drill its own hole. And then come to the front, which is nice and snug, just round here. Just screw it in, and then obviously you can come back in later, take one out, drill it. You have enough room to get a drill bit in. Just you can use one in a chuck or even a pair of ball grips will bore the hole for it. And then if you wanted to think, I've not cut a mass amount out. I haven't cut any big slots at bottom, so getting a nut on back side of that can be a bit of a problem. So I've found that to work perfectly fine. It's got plenty of support off the original Bruder body. It isn't really going anywhere. And if you look under here, you've got quite a bit of room there. Like I said, you do need that, because when it comes in at an angle, you need it to rock round from front to back. So try less, take these out, keep trying it, and just keep trimming it back a bit until you get it to go in. And then if we look under here, like I said, on one side I've gone a little bit too far there. A little bit too far, so I should have been a little bit more gentle, you know. The other side is a lot better fit, but later on a little bit of plastic card and some hot melt glue or whatever, and just to mask it. But once the tracks are on, I don't find it a major issue. You know, it's a bit irritating knowing it's there like that, but it's a bit of a sacrifice. And then the same with the back axle. What I did, without, like I said, you have this piece of plastic just hanging off here like that, and it hung down and it flopped about. Cut it as near to that as you can. There, just cut it off until it comes off, and put it to one side. You are going to put it back, and you are going to use it again. And then the same thing here. Look, for my root, if you look at the steering, it's a bit hard to see on camera. In there, you'll see a bit of a gap. Can't remember what way I did it. If you wanted to, you could punch a hole through here with your drill to feed your wires through. But I haven't had a problem. Trying to remember now how I did it. Oh, I went through in the middle. Anyway, if you put an hole through here for your wires, get them fed through. I found they fed through quite easily actually. I just can't see it now for some reason. You see it, Andrea? How I did it? I don't know. I think I went through one of them, I think. Oh, that's good. There's so much to put up with. I should have looked. Oh yeah, there. I've got them down there with wires, but what I do is be tempted to cut something through there to get your wires through. Just having a look. Just pause a second. Right, well we finally managed to work out how I got the wires in. What I've done in here, they've gone right at the top of this part here and go in, and what I've done, I've just got a drill. It's a 4mm, probably a 6mm or something like that. Just get it in there and just eat a bit away. Just give it a bit of a shape. You just want to make it not much bigger, just enough to get your wires in. And then I've fed the wires through. Like I said, if you tape a piece of string or another piece of wire to round your wire to your motors or thing, and then thread that through and use it to pull them through, it probably would be a bit easier than messing about. So we're just going to feed them. I've gone on this side of it. Just put them all through, and all I've done is there is a gap there. I've just made it a little bit bigger coming this way, just to feed the wires. When you look at it, you might see a better way, but as long as you get them through and they're not catching anything and they're not going to trap when it turns, it shouldn't be so bad. So what I'm going to do now, I've got all of the wires in that hand. It said I've already connected my longer wires to it. Big trap there. And then all you're going to do is pull them wires through till you get them where you want them. And then this is the same thing really. So what I've done, it's a bit tight with the screws where they're just sticking out of it. You're just going to slide it in, then you're just going to shove it down. Basically what you want is it level and flush near enough with that. Yeah. On this here, there's a cut out. If you look on the inside of your axle, there's a cut out here, and that cut out is going to sit on that there. So just basically get it in, shove it up, and it's basically flush. You know, one side will go down for whatever reason a little bit more than the other, but it should just go in and sit there. You know, obviously it will move a little bit up and down, but you just don't really want that flush. And then what I did, I come over, I rub my finger up there one side at a time, make sure it's shoved forward up to this stair here, yeah, and then like that, and then you get your wood screw. Obviously I've used 4mm bolt on the, like you said, same as front, use a wood screw or something, get that in and screw it through, and just do one side at a time until you're because you're only going to be millimeters out. You're not, if you did get it out, it's not going to be a big problem. So as long as underneath you're reasonably flush there, so this sits flush with the bottom of that, and it butts up to this here, and there's a little cut out which will should help you locate it that nice and flush. Once you've got one wood screw in, you can check it, level it up. If it's a tiny bit out, it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. So you put your next screw in, then turn it over, and level it up. You want it should just sit then pretty much like that. That is just slightly proud, but you're probably talking plain nuts and bolts will take that out. But like I said, use wood screws, get it in, and then I'll show you in a minute why it's quite easy once you've got your 4 screws in and you're happy with it. Like I said, I've already changed this to nuts and bolts, so so then your back end is in, and then this piece here, really before you fit the axle, what I did it, and then I put it on there, slotted it in the top of your rear axle. There's these lugs here, and what they are locators. On this part of your bruder, just trim it up so it will fit over them lugs, and then it will literally just push in and push down, sit flush with that. Once it's on them lugs, can't really go anywhere. Turn over, drill 2, I've used 3mm, I think, 2 3mm holes. I'm sure the holes are already there, but what you do, you'll drill through that, through your piece of your bruder that you've put in, and then small wood screws, self tappers will hold it. It's only holding it down, and I put 2 3mm nuts and bolts in because they're a bit of a faff. If you put them in from the top, and you can get your screwdriver in there, it's pretty straightforward just to stick 2 nuts and bolts in it, and then that gives you there. And then once that's on, that's solid. These flop about, you pull your wires through like that, and then what I've done, I don't know if I've done it, they were already there, but there is actually 2 slots, little slots, and then I sat my wires in them, just in here. See, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't put them there, I think they're already there. I just stuck 1 wire in there, 1 wire in there, make sure that it turns without moving them, and then basically take your back end. I have trimmed it a little bit, but you'll see that as you go with it what needs to come on, and then that will just literally click back into place. So that's it, and like I said, you've plenty of room under there, whether you want to put your servo and your speed controller under there, and obviously you'll reroute your wiring however you thought. I've left it for now because what we're going to next, we've already cut this hole in the top here, kept it quite in. I've made it quite comfortable. It's not really structural. Inside you'll have a little bit of cleaning up. It just comes here, and you'll see where servo comes. So you've got some cleaning up from bottom. I found it a bit easy to make that a bit wider, and then I'll show you how I cut them in a minute. There's my screws. So them screws really you take out, and you get a nut and bolt in them, so that if you're ever working on it, you don't do what I've done about 3 times and gouge will lump out your finger when you think it. So they do really need, you know, where you can, especially if you're going to come into contact with it, change it. The front screws here, where these go in, if you look, you can't really get your finger into them. So if you can't get your finger into them, you can't really do any damage. So I just left it, you know, because I haven't cut that out under there. And also leaving that tab, especially if you put a bit of epoxy over them, it's never going to come out, it's never going to break, and it gives it strength and also nice payment. So I tempted to leave that there, And even if you put another wood screw in at the side there, 2 is always better than 1. You know, you could even go straight through there with a long piece of threaded bar, you know. And then this is just that back one there, and you could get that one there, obviously with nuts and bolts. And to be honest with you, them 2 nuts and bolts, that ain't never going to move. So wood screw, I found wood screws good because they drill their own hole and it makes it quick. So then we cut this out and then go underneath. Alright, go. Keep that something like level, try not to move it. And then you get this piece with it for your servo. Hang on, oh, we'll go right way. I've used a plastic arm on it, haven't had a problem. I've dragged bricks round and everything with it. Just 2, 3 nuts and bolts. These available off Amazon. I am trying to get hold of a job lot, so we'll probably have her include or sell them with the kit. And then I've tapped them both to right hand thread, because when you get these turnbuckles, I have none in stock at the minute, so I can't show. One's left hand, one's right hand. All I've done is tap the left hand one with a 3mm tap and just use 3mm bar. How you connect it doesn't really matter, just 2 straight bars. I find these good to use and they give it a bit of movement. So we have them on order. I've ordered quite a number of them. We will probably include them, but I can't just include them yet 'cause I haven't got them, but they are available on Amazon and stuff like that. And like I said, I just run a 3mm tap in, which did it. I think you can buy these where they're both right-handed anyway, these connectors, and then just a piece of, I've used 3mm threaded bar. If you've got 4mm, it doesn't matter. I've just put nuts and bolts on this end, just straight through. Should have showed you that on the inside. You can get inside, put your bolt through, screwdriver, just fastened. And I find that, especially 2 of them, to be absolutely fine, not have a problem, not crack the plastic in any way. And like you said, we've had quite a bit of weight on it, so and again I've just put 2 screws in because I did know it was coming down. And then your servo, when you get this one's actually on a clip. I did these and the servo just clips in, but it missed with different servos as to whether they fit or not. So what we've done, we've made one where your servo sits on and you 4 screws. I use M3 screws and self-tapping screws what come with it. Screw it in and your servo sits in there like that. And then obviously your horn's going to come this way. And then cut out basically the width of the servo, just slightly bigger than your servo, you know, allowing you a bit of room to play with. But what I did, I put that in there on the top, drew around it with a marker pen, just slide it over a bit, draw again, slide it over a bit, draw again, and that's how I made it just a bit bigger. And then mark when I've got it central, because it does sit pretty central. It comes up to the front here. You've got that angle. It just sits there, down there. And then what I did, I marked them holes so that I knew when I was cutting out, I didn't go near them. And then just cut a square out. You can get away with less. And then what I do, I use for stuff like this is Dremel on a flexi shaft, cheap as chips, absolutely brilliant. And then I have burrs. You get them Amazon next day delivery, on eBay. You buy them in sets. They don't need to be any fancy expensive things. I've got quite a selection here I've built up, from little grinding wheels, obviously Dremel cut off disc, which is a brilliant thing for just slicing, and then have different shapes thing. But I find them when you're working on these, or really any plastic or modelling, I just find them absolutely a brilliant thing. You can control speed at Dremel to turn it down for fine work. Definitely worth the investment. If not, then a drill and any way you can cut it out. Like I said, I've even used 4-inch angle grinders. Just get bits of plastic when you're doing it. If you do it fast, you get bits of plastic. You just snip them off like that. Just put it in, and then you can go in then and just. And it is just like using a big pen, really. You just get used to flow. You practice, like practice on your old axles before you start. If you've never used one before, I think you know, just have a practice and get used to how it fights you. And I find it absolutely brilliant. Love the job. You can go in, you can trim little bits up, and I use it to cut with. You know, I even use these burrs to cut. I just score and then break them out. Snips, you know, like even snips and drilling holes in it, down it, and then just snip them out. You know, that's the way I've done them in the past. Whatever works. Where the Dremel comes in, when you go in here, you have some like ridges in here like that. Then you put your servo, and then you'll need to just trim them back. You know, even a rough file will do it. Whatever, you just need to trim it back. You don't want to go too far. You can stay roughly level with that. Just go down basically till your servo just slots in. And once your servo slots in, that wire then will drop straight through under there. Then same crack, put it in. It's fit. Again, I use wood screws, or you can drill these and put nuts and bolts in, because you can get from the other side, especially if you put the screw head on the inside and hold it with a screwdriver. I find it quite easy to do this way with wood screws, and it like self drills it. This has actually run a few weeks now. It's done quite a bit of running with just 2 in. It hasn't been a problem. Make sure I'm straight, otherwise I'm not steering it. Just put that back. Fasten your servo in place. Like I said, how you connect these is entirely up to you. I've seen many different ways of doing it. They all work. That's just the way I do it. Like I said, if you had 4 pair of these, you will get 4 right hand. You know, I think we will try and do something where we can do these, because it's quite easy for me to have a little jig for doing them. So they are, one of these on each one is tapped to left hand. I just use a machine tap, right hand thread, just drill in, drill out, and I find them. I use them on the tractors, I use them on all sorts. Work brilliant. So we will be coming with that. I've just got to wait for probably fast postage from China, and he's probably on a container ship doing 1 mile an hour. I don't know, but they haven't turned up yet.